Right, 26 August 2024. And today I'm going to be giving you my update, my first update of the week. And this is going to be one of the most important updates that I've ever given. And this is because there has been a massive development regarding the amendments to the Constitution of Zimbabwe. So I want to start with that story. ZANU PF has now agreed to amend the Constitution of Zimbabwe. And the process of amending the Constitution has now started. What is going to happen is that going forward, ZANU PF structures are going to formally put their resolutions together. And this is going to be put at the ZANU PF annual Congress or conference, where it will then move forward to amendment. And there are three approaches which ZANU PF has agreed on. So this happened yesterday, where the Harare structures of ZANU PF have agreed that there's going to be changes to the constitution to allow Mnangagwa to continue as the president of Zimbabwe. And there are three approaches. The first approach is to extend the length of each term so that a term is more than 5 years. The second approach is to increase the number of terms to three terms. And the third approach is to take away term limits altogether. So there are three approaches that have been agreed yesterday. And then ZANU PF structures are going to take this to the Bulawayo Congress of ZANU PF, after which the constitutional amendments are going to take place. As you know, ZANU PF has got a 2/3 majority. They also have Sengezo Chavangu, who has taken over as a member of the opposition. So the amendments are going to continue, and you can go and look at that story in the Herald newspaper. This has already been agreed. It's a done deal. All structures of ZANU PF have agreed on this, and it's crazy that we were talking about this theoretically a few months ago, and now we're there at that point where it's now a reality. It's now a reality that ZANU PF is going to amend the Constitution of Zimbabwe to allow Mnangagwa to go on to a third term, one way or the other. And I can foresee a situation where, to avoid any problems, ZANU PF is going to first try to go for an extension of the term so that Mnangagwa can go to 2030. And then when 2030 comes, they're going to amend that constitution so that Mnangagwa can go again for a third term. Then after that, they'll remove the term limits altogether. So now everyone is looking at Chiwenga. How is Chiwenga going to react to what has happened? Chiwenga was not present when all these things were being said. I do not see him in these meetings that were being held yesterday. The people who were actually there are some of the pushers of this 2030 thing, and they've been going on and on over the past months. And I do not know how the other structures of government are going to react. For example, the military, how is the military going to react? How is Chiwenga going to react? So that's very important. Mnangagwa himself, how is he going to react? Mnangagwa has said he doesn't want to go for a third term. How will Mnangagwa react if ZANU PF structures say, let's go for a third term? Is he going to accept it, or is he going to deny it? So those are the kind of things that we are currently looking at to see if Mnangagwa is going to make a comment on this request by the structures to extend his term by a few years. So that is what they said now. A few years, extend the term. I don't know how long they'll extend. Maybe they'll make it 10 years. So we don't know if this is going to happen. Also, they want to amend the constitution so that the current incumbent can benefit. So you can go and check out that story in the Herald newspaper. What a crazy approach by ZANU PF. This is unheard of. In my whole life, I've never imagined that this was going to happen, but it's happening right in front of our eyes. So let's see how Chiwenga moves. How will Chiwenga react to this, because he's next in line to become the Zimbabwe president. Now let's go to the next story, and this story is to do with Hopewell Chin'ono. So overnight, Hopewell Chin'ono has continued on his attack on Nelson Chamisa. So if you go to Gambakwe.com, we've put the statements by Hopewell Chin'ono after his life. It's clear that Hopewell Chin'ono is going further than just forming a government in exile. He's also going to become very critical of Chamisa, and he does not name him by name. My sources say, and I want to explain what has happened. My sources say there's been a fight between Chamisa and Hopewell Chin'ono, and they say that Hopewell Chin'ono tried to sell the idea of a government in exile to Nelson Chamisa, but Nelson Chamisa rejected the idea, and Chin'ono left in a huff after that happened, and that is why he's going on with the government in exile without Chamisa. So let's see how this goes. Chin'ono is reportedly starting to have meetings this week, and let's see if he succeeds in convincing the diaspora structures in the UK to go with the government in exile. So this is now something that is happening on the ground. It's going to be happening in the United Kingdom. Starting in the United Kingdom, Chin'ono is going to be canvassing for that government in exile that he announced last night. Then another issue here is, or story is, Kembo Mohadi is in Malawi, where he met the president. They were at a church. They were celebrating the church anniversary here. And you can see President Lazarus Chakwera and the First Lady Monica Chakwera over there. And it was quite interesting. Mohadi is not feeling well, so I think he was also getting prayers over there. I don't foresee Mohadi going on for longer, and I think this is going to be his last term in ZANU PF before he's replaced. And his replacement is likely going to be General Valerio Spanda. From what I've said in the past, if General Valerio Spanda moves into this position, this is going to be very interesting because then it complicates everything. The succession matrix will be complicated in Zimbabwe because, as you know, General Chiwenga, whilst he is second in line or next in line, there are other people that want to take over. And General Valerio Spanda is the preferred person to take over by Mnangagwa and the people in his faction. Chiwenga, he needs to make a move. If he doesn't make a move, they are going to move on him. And it's going to happen. So let's see how he reacts, because obviously he cannot be a general like him without being a strategist. So let's see what is his strategy, how he's going to move, and how fast he's going to move. Because remember, it's not only about where you move, when you move, but also how fast you move. This is going to be dramatic and interesting. You're going to see a drama between now and the ZANU PF Congress in Bulawayo. You're going to see a big drama. And a lot is going to happen because a lot of important decisions are going to be made here. So let's watch and see what happens here. Then I want to take you to my favorite couple, Wodemaya and Miss Trudy. Wodemaya has put out a video after a very long time. And he has explained why he left his wife when he went to Barbados. He's currently in Barbados. And many people have been speculating that Wodemaya and his wife have divorced. However, he says it's his wife still, and he's just leaving her because he doesn't want to go to work with her. It's like, do you go to work with your wife? So I think that is the reason why he doesn't go to work with Miss Trudy. However, I want to take you to a very sad situation that is developing in Bulawayo. A lot of divorce cases are taking place in Bulawayo. So far this year, 600 divorce cases have been heard in Bulawayo, jumping from the whole of last year. So that is almost double the number of divorce cases taking place in Bulawayo. This is crazy because last year, the whole of last year, only 392 cases were heard. This year, there are currently 1,061 divorce cases that are before the courts, and 600 of those are in Bulawayo, which means there's been a dramatic jump in the number of divorce cases taking place in Bulawayo. And many more marriages are in limbo because obviously not everyone goes to court to divorce. So there are people who don't have a white wedding. There are people who don't have a registered wedding. But these figures are alarming, and it's showing that there is a decline of the social fabric in the city. So I think the church leaders need to pray for Bulawayo. Something is happening over there, which is unheard of. However, Harare is also very close behind. Harare has, last year, there were 2,100 divorce cases in the whole of Zimbabwe, which means 6 people get divorced a day in Zimbabwe. Out of those divorces, last year, 1,539 were in Harare and 392 were in Bulawayo. And Masvingo follows 92. Mutare is also very close over there with Chin'ono also having a lot of divorce cases. And the reasons why people are breaking up, marriages are breaking up in Zimbabwe, is infidelity, loss of love and affection, loss of conjugal rights, and irreconcilable differences and money issues. So loss of conjugal rights, probably guys move to the diaspora and leave their wife, all those kind of things. So all I can say is don't stay with your wife in the avenues. That is the short. And don't do, especially for the guys, don't do things that you won't do, like going to the lodges and all that kind of stuff. I understand there's a proliferation of lodges in Harare. Those places must be shut down and prayers must be held for all these things that are happening. It's showing how bad the situation is when you see Bulawayo having more divorce cases than Harare, and the population is quite small over there. So crazy stuff. And I'm not picking on Bulawayo, guys. Someone called me and say, why did you say something about Bulawayo? This is in the press. You can go check it out in the Sunday Mail newspaper. This is a top story and a matter of concern among social people, like people who do social services. A divorce affects kids. Children are the most affected with this situation. So Bulawayo quite crazy, a lot happening over there. Now I want to go to Johannesburg. In fact, Pretoria. There is something very bad that has happened in Pretoria yesterday. And I want to take you to this case here. So let me just get a picture. So the car you're seeing there is a Range Rover. So inside this Range Rover, in the boot, is a body of a woman. The owner of this car is in this Range Rover. This woman was killed in Mpumalanga, and she was killed during a house robbery. The robbers then took her into a car and put her in the boot, where they then drove around with her from Friday. The body was only found on Saturday night. They found the body, they found guns, and they also found bank cards. They also found jewelry and cell phones. The tracking company managed to track this car to Pretoria, which is a distance of between 300 and 400 kilometers away, which means the robbers were probably withdrawing money from her cards as she was sitting in this car with them. And this is a crazy situation. It happens all the time in Pretoria and in Joburg. A lot of people have been hijacked or taken from home and driven around with. But this is an unfortunate case where someone was robbed in Mpumalanga and the body was only found in Pretoria. A 21-year-old man has been arrested who was driving this car. So this is a crazy situation that has happened in Pretoria. And you can check out that story in almost all the newspapers today that are out there in Pretoria. So crazy stuff. And if you're in South Africa, you must be very careful. Don't put large amounts of cash in your bank cards. Make sure your money stays in a separate account where your cards are not connected. And make sure that when you move around, you don't move around with all your banking cards. This is a standard practice. Don't drive around in a car without a tracking device. And also make sure that you've got a tracking device where your family members can track you. So the tracking devices that are there these days allow your family to see your car as it moves around. And make sure that you don't hide those from your wife, so that if something happens to you, they can find you. I do have a tracking device where wherever I go, if someone wanted to come to me, they won't need to ask me. They just press and you find exactly where I am and come over there if you want. So I do not know if this is helpful, but you must also have a security device which you press. If something happens in Johannesburg, you can easily press and security will immediately come to you, armed security. And that only costs like $20 a month. So if you want to know which system to use, I can give you some recommendations. You can WhatsApp me and I'll tell you what system to use, whereby if someone was attacking you in your house, all you do is press a button and within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, security will be there to take care of that situation anywhere in South Africa. So these are some of the things that you need to spend your money on. Then I want to feature a channel here, Ruru Chisamba. You can go and check out. She's done a video of Mutare. Amazing place, Mutare. One of the most beautiful places in Zimbabwe. Very underdeveloped our countries. So go and check out this channel. It's called Ruru Chisamba. Check out what she's put out. I haven't been to Mutare for more than 2 years. And I am amazed at how this city looks so smart, but nothing is happening. No development is happening here. Only this new building here that she showcased next to Dolphin Enterprises. So go check out that short video and subscribe to that channel. And then obviously, I don't know, do you know who this guy is? Peace Security. He looks very familiar, right? I do not know whether it's him or not, but you can try to figure out who this guy is, who's advertising Peace Security. Saka, the question is Peace Security in Deani. Yeah. I think we've covered the most important items here. Bishop Nyamakanga still in jail with all the other activists, and now we understand why. Mnangagwa does not want to release these guys because he's going for a third term. I hope that don't keep them up to October when ZANU PF has now finished their Congress and their third term shenanigans. So it's clear that Mnangagwa has got a bigger picture, a longer term picture, where he wants to make sure that there is no dissent. And he's going to crush anyone that moves against him. So on top of the Herbert School of Chitepo ideology and propaganda, which is putting through all these other guys, he's going to arrest anyone who goes against him. And people who want to be the president of ZANU PF, Chiwenga, Chiwenga, they must be very careful because the time has arrived, what we call a moment of truth. There is no way that anyone can be the next president of Zimbabwe and Chiwenga is still the vice president. So the next move is they will take out Chiwenga somehow. That is the next move. And that process is going to be sudden and fast. If Chiwenga doesn't move fast, they're going to move on him very, very quickly. And it's going to happen when you don't expect it. So between now and that ZANU PF Congress, you're going to see a dramatic move, something you don't expect. Otherwise, it will be the other way. It's not going to be stationary. Someone is going to move on the other. And whoever moves first is going to win. I've already said this to you. Whoever moves first is going to win. Transition in ZANU PF or succession in ZANU PF is always violent. There's never a smooth transition in ZANU PF. It will never happen. And we are going to watch a drama right now. I want to end with this young lady here, Emily Zihonye. Right. She is a photojournalist in Zimbabwe. And she is in the newspaper today, Emily Zihonye, in the Newsday newspaper. She is complaining that people who run media houses, online media houses, and they need to be regulated, or they need to be controlled, or they need to be brought back into line. She's also gone to the Zimbabwe Female Photojournalists Association and complained about the use of a photograph of Namatai Kwekwedza. And I've mentioned in the past that you cannot misunderstand copyright. So what Emily has done is she has gone and complained to these people. She's also gone and hit many channels with copyright. So myself, I did receive a copyright notification from her after we used a photograph of Namatai Kwekwedza. And so we have removed everything to do with Namatai. I don't want to be, my channel to be shut down because of this thing. But she has a fight with another newspaper, I think it's called Zim Daily or something like that, over this picture of Namatai Kwekwedza. And many people are removing the picture of Namatai Kwekwedza from online platforms because they're afraid of being hit with copyright. What I want to clarify is that when we put a picture of Namatai Kwekwedza, you can actually not copyright the face of a person. So the only thing that we can do is to give credit. So if you say the picture was done by Emily Zihonye, then it's done by Emily Zihonye. But you can't copyright. Let's say you take a picture of me. You can't put a copyright on that picture. But that is what she's been doing. She's been going to all sorts of platforms and saying, I took this picture. So I don't know what she wants. Does she want to be paid or what? It's not clear. And now people are removing the picture of Namatai Kwekwedza from online. So it's crazy, and I don't understand what is required here. So go check out in the Newsday, it's over there. And myself, I've been questioning myself to say, what is it that she wants with regards to this picture of Namatai Kwekwedza that she took? She's probably the only person who took that picture of Namatai Kwekwedza going out of the truck. Ever since she's been arrested, there have been no other pictures of Namatai Kwekwedza except for that picture. So does she want to be paid, or is it a copyright issue? So I do not understand. And also, she knows that ZANU PF is going to jump on it and try to close newspapers. What is it that exactly people want with regards to pictures? And we also have issues. Myself, I've got guys on TikTok who take my whole video that I do and they put there, and they know that people are not supposed to do that. But we have to strike a balance. We are in an environment where there's no media. So what happens? And I normally approach the guys. For example, there's a guy called Barrister Jojo. He keeps taking videos of everyone. He takes my video. He takes videos of Tafi the man. He takes videos of everyone, and he just loads it on that place. Obviously, that's not ethical. But when it comes to a picture, just to illustrate, for example, we take this picture of Hopewell Chin'ono here. And you know that Hopewell Chin'ono, no one meets him every day. So that is a picture from in conversation with Trevor. Does that mean Trevor now has to go and sue everyone that has used this picture and take down all the videos of Hopewell Chin'ono? I think that doesn't work. Similarly, I've shown you the picture here of Miss Trudy and Odemai. Does this mean that if I show that picture, Odemai should now go and do a copyright strike on me? I don't think that is the extent to which we should take this. And obviously, there's a balance with the media guys. How do you proceed with media and copyright? I now want to go to the comments. What happened yesterday with Hopewell? Did you talk about Chamisa? Yes, he talked about Chamisa. He said Chamisa and Mnangagwa have both failed, and he's coming up with the government in exile. So go and check out Gambakwe.com. We've put the summary of the discussion there. Then Mkoma John Shishano said, Gambakwe, you are a full liar. Mkoma John Shishano has woken up on the wrong side of the bed. Do you think if I was a fool, anyone would listen to me? Mkoma John Chisano. And then Mkoma Nyasha said, that one of Hopewell and Chamisa, we don't need this drama. Collectively, we need to work together and address the challenges we're facing as a nation. So Mkoma Nyasha, let me explain what's happening. Hopewell is saying Chamisa is a boogeyman. He's not real. He just comes out during the elections, but he actually doesn't want to be president. That is what Hopewell is saying. And he's saying because he has seen this, he's going to set up something real, something that will actually change the situation in Zimbabwe. And that is the government in exile that will start working now, not the next elections. So do not confuse what Hopewell is saying. Hopewell is very clear. And I told you guys on Friday, don't play with someone like Hopewell. He is able to mobilize a lot of people. And I'm not talking about people on the ground. I'm talking about people with influence, people with money, people who are able to do things. And Chamisa right now, I do not understand his situation. So behind the scenes, there's a lot that is happening. So don't play with this kind of situation. If you're a supporter of Chamisa, watch very, very closely. And then Mkoma Taura says the cause of divorce is prostitution. I don't think it's prostitution. I think it's infidelity. Like I was saying, when you're married, do not look at other people. Look at your wife or your husband only. You don't need drama in your life, and you don't need those diseases that come with such affairs. I can assure you, if you have an affair, you're going to end up with something that you don't like in your life. It's dirty out there, guys. Especially in Blawa, I told you 90% of the people that are being tested are testing positive right now. This is bad. And do not go out there. Whatever you're going to get is not nice. You won't like it. You may think you like it, but you won't. It will be dirty for you, and you will destroy your life for nothing, and your wife and your husband. It's not worth it. Be married and stay there with your wife or husband. That's all. It's not hard. And then Mkoma Tonga says term extension was always Mnangagwa's game plan. Yes, but if you allow a term extension, Mnangagwa will take an arm, then he's going to take your whole body. He's going to take your soul. So General Chiwenga is the person that is very much in danger right now. Whatever happens now, watch what happens to General Chiwenga. It's going to be dramatic. It's going to be quick. It's going to be dirty. They cannot leave him in that position when they make them whatever move they want to make. They will have to move on him, and then they make their next move. So the next thing that you look at now is what happens to General Chiwenga and how he reacts to whatever happens. Very, very important. And that is what we're looking at and what we're going to be observing until we get the ZANU PF Congress in Blawa. I'd like to thank you all for watching. As you can see, I have been working since yesterday throughout the Hopewell situation. Now we're here on this Monday. We're doing a lot of work, and we want to improve our studio. So today I'm going to put out that link where you can make donations to the Gambakwe studio. We are building a studio, and I need that studio to be built with about $20,000 US. So tudakona vanhu vane bands doing what needs to be done. Photojournalism.com. That's the place where we fundraise, where we put all the details, where you can send donations for that studio that I'm going to build. But I'm going to put out a proper poster and a link for you to click. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching.